Did you know Nancy Kulp and Buddy Ebsen had behind-the-scenes secrets that could completely change how you see the Beverly Hillbillies? Hollywood has always been full of untold drama, and their story is no exception. Long before the show made them household names, both Kulp and Ebsen lived fascinating lives packed with twists and turns worthy of a movie script. What happened off-screen might just surprise you even more than the sitcom itself. Before the Beverly Hillbillies became a TV classic, Nancy Kulp and Buddy Ebsen were living lives that set the stage for one of Hollywood's most fascinating behind-the-scenes dynamics. Let's dive into their remarkable stories. Nancy Kulp, born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, wasn't your typical Hollywood star. Raised by her father, a traveling salesman, and her mother, who became a school principal, Nancy grew up in a world of structure and education. After moving to Miami as a child, she pursued journalism, earning her degree by 1943. Her early career included writing for the Miami Beach Tropics, where she interviewed big names like Clark Gable and the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. But when World War II began, Nancy joined the U.S. Naval Reserve, rising to the rank of lieutenant. Buddy Ebsen, on the other hand, came from Orlando, Florida, and was as different from Nancy as you could imagine. With dreams of dancing, he and his sister Vilma performed on the vaudeville circuit. Known for his charm and ease on stage, Buddy's talent eventually led him to Broadway, and then Hollywood. He danced alongside Shirley Temple and even contributed to animating Mickey Mouse's moves for Walt Disney. However, his career wasn't without setbacks. Most notably, he almost died from aluminum dust poisoning while filming The Wizard of Oz as the Tin Man. By the 1950s, Nancy and Buddy were carving their own paths in Hollywood. Nancy, after a stint in MGM's publicity department, was discovered for her distinctive look and comedic timing. She landed small but memorable roles, often stealing scenes with her sharp wit. Buddy, meanwhile, built a reputation as a reliable actor, excelling in folksy and relatable roles, though he didn't shy away from darker characters. Their paths crossed as they both sought their breakout roles, which came in The Beverly Hillbillies. Nancy became the unforgettable Miss Jane Hathaway, the sharp, bird-watching secretary, while Buddy embodied Jed Clampett, the wise, warm-hearted patriarch. The show was an instant hit, charming audiences with its fish-out-of-water humor and endearing characters. On screen, their chemistry seemed effortless. Off-screen, however, their relationship was fraught with tension. The clash wasn't about their acting, it was personal. Buddy was a staunch conservative, unafraid to voice his political views, while Nancy was a proud liberal with equally strong convictions. Their ideological differences led to heated debates that sometimes lasted for weeks, creating a divide that was hard to ignore. Despite their differences, both brought unforgettable charm to the show. Nancy's Miss Jane earned her an Emmy nomination, and Buddy's portrayal of Jed became iconic. Yet, behind the laughter and catchphrases, their off-screen dynamic added a layer of complexity to the beloved sitcom's legacy. Despite the tension between them, Nancy Kulp and Buddy Ebsen maintained professionalism throughout their time on the Beverly Hillbillies. The show was a massive success, drawing millions of viewers each week and becoming one of the most popular TV programs of its era. Audiences adored the Clampetts and their hilarious escapades, and Nancy and Buddy's performances were a big part of the show's charm. Nancy's portrayal of Miss Jane Hathaway made her one of the series' most beloved characters. Miss Jane was intelligent, loyal, and often the voice of reason amidst the chaos caused by her boss, Mr. Drysdale, and the Clampetts' antics. Her crush on Jethro added a layer of humor and sweetness that endeared her to fans, and Nancy's nuanced performance earned her an Emmy nomination. Buddy, meanwhile, brought warmth and wisdom to Jed Clampett, the patriarch who kept the family grounded. Whether dealing with Beverly Hills high society or helping Granny with her latest mischief, Jed's calm demeanor and iconic catchphrase, "Well, doggies," became a hallmark of American pop culture. His portrayal made Jed a relatable and steadying presence amid the family's hijinks. While the on-screen dynamic between Miss Jane and Jed appeared warm and friendly, the off-screen relationship between Nancy and Buddy was far more complex. Their differences in personality and political beliefs often led to tension. Buddy, a staunch conservative, and Nancy, a committed liberal, frequently clashed over their views. Their debates reportedly lasted for weeks, creating a palpable undercurrent of discord that those on set couldn't ignore. Despite their disagreements, both were consummate professionals, never allowing personal conflicts to overshadow their work. After the Beverly Hillbillies ended, it remained a cultural phenomenon, but the rift between Nancy and Buddy persisted. In 1984, years after the show concluded, Nancy took a bold step into politics, running as a Democrat for Pennsylvania's 9th Congressional District. Though the district leaned heavily Republican, and she faced an uphill battle against incumbent Bud Schuster, Nancy campaigned with determination, believing she could bring meaningful change. However, the campaign took an unexpected turn when Buddy publicly supported her opponent. He recorded a radio ad criticizing Nancy as too liberal and accused her of using her celebrity status for political gain. Nancy was deeply hurt, viewing Buddy's actions as a personal betrayal. In interviews, she expressed her frustration, saying he had no right to interfere in a race that had no connection to him, and lamented that she would never have done the same to him. The ad likely influenced the election, which Nancy lost by a wide margin. Although she didn't blame Buddy entirely for her defeat, the experience left a lasting sting. Buddy stood by his actions at the time, but later in life, he reportedly expressed regret over how the situation unfolded and how their relationship deteriorated. Nancy found solace in teaching, taking on a role as an artist-in-residence at Juniata College in Pennsylvania, where she shared her experience and passion with students. Though she and Buddy briefly reconciled later in life, their feud had left a lasting mark. Both their professional achievements and their personal conflicts continue to intrigue fans, adding layers of complexity to the legacy of the Beverly Hillbillies. At Juniata College, Nancy Kulp found a peaceful and fulfilling chapter in her life, away from the glitz of Hollywood and the turbulence of politics. There, she taught acting classes, inspiring countless students with her insight, warmth, and dedication. Students admired her not only for her Hollywood fame, but for her genuine commitment to helping others grow. She infused her lessons with humor and heart, creating an environment where every student felt welcome and encouraged. It's easy to imagine her smiling as she shared stories from her days on the Beverly Hillbillies, offering advice about both life and the stage. Although she focused on teaching, Nancy never fully stepped away from acting. She performed in local theater productions and made occasional guest appearances on television. Her passion for the craft remained strong, and her later work reflected a deep love for storytelling. Outside the spotlight, Nancy lived a vibrant life, connecting with people, students, friends, and neighbors, and making the most of every moment. In 1990, Nancy was diagnosed with cancer, but she faced the challenge with the same determination that had defined her life. She continued to teach and stay active in her community as long as her health permitted. Friends and colleagues described her as brave and strong, qualities she had always displayed. Sadly, Nancy passed away in 1991, leaving behind a legacy far greater than her role as Miss Jane Hathaway. Her story was one of perseverance, creativity, and a refusal to be defined by any single chapter of her life. Buddy Ebsen, too, followed his own path in the years after the Beverly Hillbillies. Though his career slowed as he aged, he continued acting, taking on roles in movies and television, including the popular detective series Barnaby Jones. The public, however, still couldn't shake the image of him as Jed Clampett. While Buddy embraced the love fans had for his iconic role, he privately struggled with being typecast. Still, he handled the situation with grace, often reflecting fondly on his time on the Beverly Hillbillies in interviews and public appearances. Buddy wrote a memoir later in life, sharing anecdotes from Hollywood, his career, and even the infamous feud with Nancy. In his personal life, Buddy enjoyed a fulfilling marriage to Dorothy Knott, his third wife, and spent his later years surrounded by family. He lived to the remarkable age of 95, passing away in 2003. By then, many of his contemporaries had passed, and he was one of the last living connections to television's golden age. Thanks for watching.